Alright, so here's another subject that a lot of people have wanted me to talk about for a while, and of course I wasn't able to do that, and the news has been out for a while, but I still think it's relevant enough for me to talk about, that being Stephen Moffat finally stepping down and a new showrunner taking over. And that new showrunner is Chris Chibnall. From most of you guys would know him best. He's done Doctor Who before, but he's the showrunner for Broadchurch, which is an amazing show, by the way. You should check it out. Now, what do I think of Moffat leaving? First off, look, I know it's fun to hate on Moffat. He hasn't really been his A-game since Series 5, but you gotta give him credit. What I mean is, give the dude credit, because this dude literally brought, breathed new life into Doctor Who. Doctor Who, even during the Davies era, Doctor Who wasn't, it got a lot of press, and, it had a lot of love on sci-fi, but then, when Moffat took over with Series 5, and, Matt Smith was introduced, Doctor Who became a huge, international phenomenon. It became so big in America, Australia, all of that. And, you have to have a hand in Moffat of, how well he sold the marketing. And then, obviously the World Tour stuff, when Capaldi took over, it was a, he knew how to play this. So, if anything, you gotta give credit, where credit is due with Moffat. And of course, yeah, you could say Davies started off with Tenet, and yes, that is true that there was a hit with America during the Davies era, but it wasn't really as gigantic as it was when Moffat and Matt Smith were part of the show. So you got to look at it from that standpoint. Is that Doctor Who just got gigantic during that time period when damn it, I lost my train of thought. Crap, I totally lost my train of thought. What was it? So Stephen Moffat, let's talk about that's the positive right there. And Moffat, of course, Series 5 was spectacular, and, I think it was a great idea on Moffat's behalf to have Capaldi come in after Matt Smith, and of course Capaldi's my favorite Doctor and all that, but yeah, let's face it, after Series 5 and midway through Series 6, we're like, what the fuck is going on here, Moffat? And especially, if any time you thought that, Moffat needs to go, by the end of Series 7, and how Series 7 played out, and following from then on, and don't get me wrong, there have been some fantastic episodes throughout Moffat's reign that weren't done by Moffat necessarily, but still, when you see a Moffat episode, it hurt, excluding, there's one episode, a lot of the Moffat episodes from, Series 6 and then on were, yeesh, no. But there were other, I think he got a lot of great writers, from Jamie Matherson to Neil Cross, to, Toby Whitehouse, although he did stuff in the Davies era too. But yeah, I think he got, I think Moffat also got overworked. I think if Moffat could have, I think it's the same thing with Dan Slott over with Spider-Man, is that, he doesn't get a lot of time to breathe out a lot of ideas, and that's the same thing with Slott, and that's what's going, I think I want to say that's the big thing with Moffat, is that he is, he doesn't get a lot of time to, since he's the showrunner, he doesn't get a lot of time to breathe out a lot of his ideas. And it's not like before, when of course, with the Empty Child two-parter and a few others he did from then on, is that he had time to do these one-and-done episodes. Now he has to do these whole seasons, and it's not so great. So, yeah. And now that he's stepping down, I think it's the smart idea for him, and I think Chris Chibnall's a great choice. Me personally, now, Chris Chibnall was not one of the people I would have picked, honestly. But is he good? Oh yeah. If you've seen Broadchurch, then you know what I'm saying. What I mean is with Chris Chibnall is that he wasn't in my top 5 picks because I thought he'd be too busy with Broadchurch. The difference being that my 2 picks, honestly, for showrunner for Doctor Who were Toby Whitehouse and Toby Whithouse, excuse me, yeah, Toby Whithouse and Jamie Matherson. Those were my two picks for showrunner. If you've seen Matherson's work, oh my god, it's amazing of what he did in Series 8 and a few things in Series 9. But honestly, with these episodes of Doctor Who, I think what he's done, of course, Chibnall did a few Silurian episodes. He brought the Silurians back, and he's done a few here and there. But I think Chibnall's a really good choice. He does a lot of. He's heavy on the drama. I think he's really going to bring the show into a more darker aspect. Not to say that it hasn't been dark since the Capaldi era and mostly through the Matt Smith era, but I think it's going to be. I think he's going to really make it the sci-fi drama that we know Doctor Who to be. So hopefully he won't get Moffatitis and be overworked to do a lot of stuff. I think Chibnall's the right guy to breathe in some new life. Now let's talk about some more cons. Unfortunately, yes, there is some more cons to this tale. First off, we are not getting Doctor Who this year. Yeah, we're not getting Doctor Who at all this year, except from what I understand, we are getting a what was I going to say? We are getting a Christmas, I think we are getting a Christmas special, but that's it. No Series 10, we're getting Series 10 in in spring of 2017, so mostly March, yeah. March of 2017. How freaking wonderful. We gotta wait that long, because apparently, according to the people over at BBC, is that this will be Moffat's magnum opus. How wonderful. Can't he just be gone already? But yeah, and let's talk about the other thing, is that apparently there's been some rumors going around that Peter Capaldi might be leaving with Moffat as well, which I don't want that to happen. I really don't want Capaldi to be gone. I honestly don't want Capaldi to be gone after Series 10. The whole 3 seasons and I'm out thing is kind of getting old. Excuse me. That's kind of the sad point, is that Capaldi's might be leaving with him, and yeah, that's going to be tragic, because I really like Capaldi's Doctor. He's pretty much my Doctor, and the other thing with Capaldi is that I don't think we've had a lot of time with him yet. I feel like, yeah, he's been around for now going to be 3 seasons, but I don't feel like he's been around long enough, because obviously, he had some breathing room, and he didn't, they didn't know what to do with him in Series 8, and then in Series 9, he was, this past season, Series 9, he had a lot more cohesion to him. In his writing, in his character development, is that he's a little more cohesive as a character, and they knew what to do with him. And then in Series 10, they're gonna know finally and hit the ground running with him, and then he's gonna regenerate into somebody new. I feel like we haven't had enough time with Capaldi. I feel like, yeah, we haven't had enough time with him, because, well, just felt real quick. It's just like a blink of an eye. Oh, he's gone. Capaldi's gone. Oh well. That's kind of how I feel right now. Am I mad about it? Am I upset that with Moffat leaving, Capaldi might be following suit? Yeah, possibly, but hopefully they can find someone, just as good. I know a lot of people have been saying Idris Elba. I don't think Idris Elba, and not because he's black. It's not because I don't, I'd like to see I think it would be cool to see a black Doctor, or, a Doctor of a different ethnicity all around. The thing is that when people say Idris Elba to be the next Doctor, Idris Elba's, a big actor in both Britain and, the United States. I think he's too big of a name right now to be to step back into television. And you could say, oh, well, Benedict Cumberbatch does that. Yeah, but he's got a contract and all that. But Idris Elba is very, big in the theater. He gets, he's constantly doing movies. I mean, have you seen, we got Jungle Book and all that, and there's apparently he's in 5 other films. So yeah, he's very busy for a while. I don't think he'd want to step down to do a TV series that he would be more, and also, Doctor Who, it'd be it's like Sherlock with Cumberbatch, is that we'd be waiting for another series until he's done with all these films. It'd be years and years of hiatus. So I don't think we want that. I don't think we want that. Is Idris Elba a great pick? Would he be a great pick for the Doctor? Oh yeah, I think he'd be a great pick for the Doctor. But But he's too busy. That's the thing. That's what it really comes down. It's kind of like the same thing with why I don't think we got Mark Gatiss as showrunner either, because he's equally busy. And Moffat, hopefully with Moffat now stepping down as showrunner, he can really focus on Sherlock. He can really do a lot more with Sherlock. Anyway, so who do I have for the Doctor? Who would my cast be for the Doctor? There's a few, honestly, but me personally, after watching him in Forever, I would pick Ian Grufford. Ian Grufford is I think just go watch him in Forever and be like, he's gonna whip out a sonic screwdriver any second now. But Ian Grufford would be a great pick. There's another actor I think would be really good, and I'm forgetting his name. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever get a female Doctor. I don't think we'll ever get a female Doctor. Because as much as we say, a female Doctor would be great, I don't think we'll ever I don't think that'll be ever a real reality. But I think what's possible is that we may get a Doctor of a different ethnicity for the number 13. That's a strong possibility, and there are several amazing actors of different ethnicities that would be great. There's one in particular I'm trying to think of his name. It's not Idris Elba. God, he was actually in an episode of Doctor Who. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember his name. He was in series 2, the Satan Pit. He was in the Satan Pit 2-parter, and I can't remember his name. And I think he'd be really good as the Doctor as well. But my first pick would be Ian Grufford, on the grounds of I think Ian Grufford would be I think we've done the Doctor's now really young with Matt Smith, and now the next thing to go is really old with Capaldi. I think we could do a middle-aged rough and gruff Doctor. And the other thing with the Doctor, with the 13th regeneration, is that you have to make it interesting, because the 13th regeneration, according to the Master and the Time Lords, is that the 13th regeneration is the Valeyard. I think it'd be really cool that the big, Series 11, when Chibnall takes over, is that, with the 13th regeneration, is that the Doctor's biggest enemy is himself. I mean, yeah, we've done that before, but I think it would be cool is that the Doctor's enemy is the major enemy is the Valeyard. So, I think that's a cool way to go. So, yeah, what do I think of why did I almost say David Tennant? I think of my final thoughts on Stephen Moffat stepping down from Doctor Who. Moffat, you did good. You've done great episodes, and you've managed to bring the show into the limelight. I think that, what more can we ask of you? You've brought the show into a worldwide phenomenon. You gave us Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith, both excellent Doctors, and you've done some great episodes in the past. But yeah, you've overstayed your welcome. You have overstayed your welcome. Go back to Sherlock. Really make that show shine as you always have. And yeah, thank you for giving us and hopefully Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall can really bring a new spark of life into this show. And if Capaldi really does go, if Capaldi sadly does leave with Moffat, I hope the next Doctor, Chris Chibnall, and the rest of the BBC pick will be, an excellent Doctor. That's all I can ask. And hopefully, Moffat, you can get your shit together for Series 10, and really, if this is Capaldi's last season, then make him go out in a blaze of glory, and, just do something right, just make your final season a good one. That's all I can ask. So, the big question is, so I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think of Stephen Moffat leaving? What do you think of Capaldi possibly leaving? What do you think of Chris Chibnall taking the stage as showrunner? And the big question is, who do you want to be the next Doctor? Who would you pick to be the next Doctor? And what kind of story would you like to see them take over for Series 11? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.